That Earth, Wind, and Fire riff gets me every time. Welcome to Comic Industry Insiders Live. This is the pre-show banter of our section because, you know what? By saying banter, I feel like we're overpromising. We're likely just going to be four bald guys like chatting. That's just the way it is. Oh, look, somebody with hair came into the room. Oh, that's good. All right. Well, I'm going to go through and introduce the folks. We're basically using this time to kind of warm our voices up, get all of our decks in place, give everybody a chance to come into the back room of our webcast, and chat with you about the things that we want to talk about. Being the people that I want to talk about, let's start by adding to the stage Mr. Blake Morgan. See, he had no idea if you were coming up or not. I started with Mr. and then I decided.
That's funny because I did first comment right when you brought me in too. The vibes are good. Let's go. All right. What's up?
All right.
How's everybody?
Question of the day. Is it a coney? Is it a hot dog?
I don't know. I know like at Sonic, that's where I always heard them called conies, but they also call them chili cheese conies. So is it like if it's a long dog? Is that what maybe that Chad, can you help us out?
All right. Mr. Keith Davidsen going to be giving us a presentation later today. All right, buddy. Coney, hot dog. Where you're in San Diego? Is there a thing?
I don't even think I've ever heard of a coney. So that's a new thing to me.
Yeah.
Keith
doesn't even like mac and cheese. You can't trust him.
No, I love mac and cheese, man. I love it. I just didn't think it was a staple of Thanksgiving, at least where I live.
I get you. All right. Our producer Kyle is in the back room. Producer Kyle, I wanted to bring you in so that you're lined up underneath Blake because you two are just in like cosplaying each other today. Yes. Coney or hot dog?
It's a coney if you're within 5 miles of I-75 from the Canadian border through the Ohio River. Everywhere else, it's a hot dog.
That
is a very specifically Detroit reference.
That is a very specifically Detroit reference. Man, that's really interesting because I was just telling you, and I really enjoyed the Lowdown, which I don't know if you guys have watched, but it takes place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they refer to them as conies. So I don't know if that's what that is or not. I mean, maybe you're right. It is geographic. Canadians, do Canadians have a problem like this? You know, Brian, is this a thing that happens in Canada? Do you call hot dogs like something else that we don't know about?
Well, I have the benefit of being less than 2 hours away from Detroit. So I've always heard of them as so a coney is specifically, it's like a chili hot dog with onions and mustard, right, Kyle?
Yeah, and if you're fancy, cheese.
Yeah, well, if you're fancy.
Right. The same way that like a Chicago dog has like a, I don't know, a whole dill pickle.
With Gardenia and yeah. Like I always wondered what, like there's Sam's Coney Island and Bob's, like there's all these restaurants in the Detroit area called something Coney Island. And that's all they sell is like, and it's like a bean-free chili too, right? Like it's a St. Louis style chili.
Mm-hmm. I get shamed for making no bean chili, and now my family's on it too.
Fiber.
Adam. Now my family's like, "What's your problem with fiber, Blake?"
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, I'm so glad I told you guys that story.
Well, you know, my dad, growing up in Texas, my dad was very clear that if it had anything but chilies and meat in it, it was bean soup. That's what it was.
Really?
You're just making stew. You might be making stew, but you're no longer making chili. I don't know. I have moved on from that need. Although we do have a Texan on hand, Jeremy. I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna add you to the show for pre-show banter. So now we're in two questions mode. Is it a hot dog? Is it a coney? And if it has beans in it, is it still chili?
I'm not a chili person.
Oh.
I'm also not a native Texan, so that's
a good point.
Sorry, I'm not a native Texan.
Lies wrapped in lies.
Chili has never been my friends, mostly because beans and I have a very, very, very fraught relationship.
Gotcha. All right.
All my employees are laughing in the background, by the way.
By fraught, they mean they get the brunt of that fraught relationship. I understand.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. They are the kids in that dysfunctional marriage. All right. Speaking of dysfunctional kids, and someone who I'm certain has, yes, Megan, this is the Food Network show. This is Hot Dog Industry Insiders Live.
Oh, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing it. We are rebranding Blake's Buzz, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm adding someone who I'm absolutely certain has strong opinions about everything that we just said, Mr. Gabe Yoakum.
I'm over here boiling like a hot dog, going, what are you guys not letting me in and talk about hot dogs? What is this? So yeah, to Kyle's point, I had never heard them called conies either until I started dating a woman from the Detroit area and eventually marrying her. And then I got over here and discovered the delightfulness, the delights of the Coney Island and the Coney Island restaurant, right? To Brian's point, there's Leo's Coney Island, there's American, there's Lafayette, there's there's 30 or 40, I'm sure, easily different blank Coney Island restaurants all over the place in Metro Detroit. You can't throw a rock and not hit one. Your mileage may vary, but it's all basically Greek style stuff, right? They're all Greek owned restaurants for the most part, and just to back you up, Blake, no bean chili is the only acceptable chili.
Interesting.
I love it. I just think it's better. I know it's kind of like Sloppy Joe's.
Well, here's my problem with beans is textural, right? I wish I could enjoy a bean. I can't eat a gritty ass bean. I can't do it. I'll eat a hummus. All day.
I love hummus, yeah.
But like I can't eat a bean. You're
just getting the wrong beans.
I was about to say, you got to learn to make beans, my friend. I'll teach
no, don't get me wrong. I want to, but find me a way to ingest beans where I don't have to deal with that texture. I'll eat them at every meal.
Slow cooking is the key.
Yeah.
Slow cooking is the key to making beans. All right. This is very strange. You know what? It's funny. Whenever you have like meetings like this, all week long, we've been talking about Thanksgiving and what everybody made for Thanksgiving. I just realized if you really want to get people talking, we're just talking about what it takes to get a creator talking for an hour. Get them talking about food, man. Everybody has opinions on food. Why are we talking about comics? We could be doing food programming.
You just ask, what is the best sandwich you ever made? And I guarantee you everybody has an answer to that. What's the best sandwich you ever made? Right? Jeremy.
You can make more money in comics than you can in food.
That's actually true. That's very
true.
You can lose
more money in food.
This is a good moment to say, in about 7 minutes, we're going live with the actual show where we're going to talk about how your shop can be making money with back issues if you're not already, and why you should, right? It is one of those pieces that really could make your entire business that much more profitable. And we're going to have several experts, including Jeremy, to talk about how those, what those decisions are and what those kind of policies are you need to break in. But, honestly, I don't know that I trust the guy who eats the same Jimmy John sandwich every day. I really don't. That might be the part of the problem here.
It is.
You certainly can't make money with old food. So
that's a great point.
Okay.
And yes, there's
Jeremy for a minute.
Yeah.
Jimmy John sandwiches are really easy to carb count because they're all standardized. So, like, as a diabetic, it's handy to have that regularity. But when they added garlic butter, to be able to toast the bread with the garlic butter and then get your sandwich, so it's the same carb count, but they added more flavor. It took it to a whole nother level.
Okay. All right.
And again, to continue the food talk, the only time Gabe is going to be more steamed coming in is the day we decide to talk about Detroit-style pizza versus the rest of the world. And
look,
start talking about
I love Detroit-style pizza.
versus...
I'm a Chicago guy through and through, and I love tavern style. I love deep dish, but once I got introduced to Detroit style pizza, it's going to be hard to pull me away.
It's a whole other thing.
You know what? I am actually going to have. I live in New York, and when I leave New York, I miss the pizza first, right? That's the thing. When I think about Texas, it's barbecue and Mexican food. When I think about California, it's tacos and their style of Mexican food. But man, and obviously New York is about pizza. But man, Detroit style pizza, this is not messing around. That might be my favorite slice of pizza.
That crunchy edge is just it's a little slice of heaven.
It truly is. That's a man who would know.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk Manning going to be
Have
showing up.
Dirk, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, man, there's a guy here locally, a guy named Nate's Pizza, in Brooklyn, rather, not locally. I live on Long Island now. Who makes a Detroit style pizza, like several different pop-ups all over town, and man, is it good. Oh.
Well,
now I want pizza.
I was in Indianapolis when somebody finally explained to me that Detroit style pizza is actually a variation on Sicilian style pizza, which is a variation on something. And it's like, listen, just give me a Jets pizza or a Buddy's pizza or one of those and just shut up and let me die in a corner, please.
If you want to get real cheap and dirty, the new Little C's Sicilian pizzas, they're not bad for $5 a pop. Like it's I mean, you'll hurt later, but like it's worth it. It's worth a little gut pain, you know? Like it's just $5. $5 goes a long way. The Little Caesars. No one paid me to say
hot and ready, baby.
But
right
on
the corner.
We
down
are
the
looking
street.
for sponsorships. Right. If Little Caesars would like to sponsor Comic Industry Insiders, we'd love to talk.
We're open to it. In fact, we can help you with sponsoring lots of things all over comics.
Their headquarters is a couple of miles away, so maybe I'll just go knock some doors.
I like that. I like the sound of that. Yeah, you know what? Nona Squares. There is Megan. You really should be. I know that you're somewhere today, but I will say that there is a spot locally that does Nona Squares that are like this close, but not quite there. They're delicious, but they're not quite Detroit
It's the
Detroit
pan
style.
It's the pan. It's all about the pan.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a deeper lip too. That has that like gets more surface area for that kind of sharper edge. What's the word I'm looking for? Crispier edge.
You can kind of get away with it with a cast iron pan, but there are stainless steel or blue steel, carbon steel, like hard edged pans that give you that real straight edge.
No, this is blue
well,
steel.
and you got to not clean them that well.
Yeah.
Well,
like
cast
to
iron.
get the real flavor in, like. You know,
cast iron. Why would you take flavor out of your cast iron? What are you doing to yourself?
No, I'm talking about the pans you use for Detroit style, like the blue steel cast or the, you got to not clean them that well. Like they got to be like, you got to be turning and burning pizzas to really get that crust just right, where it just tastes a little bit burnt and makes you feel a little bit sick, but then you feel good after.
Does anyone else see absolute red when their family members put their cast irons in the sink and you just walk into the kitchen and you go, why is there water in my cast iron? Why is there water in my cast iron?
I had a family member who would she would put water in the cast iron and then leave it on the counter to soak.
No.
She nearly didn't make it. I will say I'm in Long Island. We have about a minute left, so I want to tell this very strange regional pizza story. There's anytime you're at any party here in Long Island, the only question that it gets everybody talking is what is the best pizza in Long Island or in Huntington rather. And one of the favorites is a place called Little Vincent's, hole in the wall spot, mostly oven. Right, a few booths that have been there since since 82, 83, I think is the last time they remodeled the area. But man, this place is hopping all hours of the day. And the number one drunk item they sell is cold cheese.
Cold cheese slice. Yes.
It's a hot slice, right? You go in, you make the pizza, then you put the pizza back in the oven, it comes back out as a slice, and then they just take cold unmelted cheese and just all over till it's like this thick on top of that slice of pizza. And you'll see, drunk people lined up 8 or 9 deep in all hours of the night getting the cold cheese.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I'd have to be partaking in things I'm not allowed to partake in anymore to enjoy that.
Yeah. I'm so glad we got to have this pre-show food banter. I'm so happy about all this. Have a great show, guys.
Blake, let's talk some comics. Light it up, will you? Yeah, he just caught me coughing. That's okay. It's Comic Industry Insiders Live, everybody. It's Tuesday. You just opened your boxes and you opened up the Facebook, and then suddenly there are people talking about pizza and hot dogs, and now you're hungry. So welcome aboard. This is a weekly show where we talk about the behind the scenes things that are happening in comics. We try and dig deep on the things that affect your business in comics, whether it's your comic shop or your publisher, publishing company, whatever it is. We want to make sure that we are covering that. My partner in all of this is a man who is not only a comic book retailer himself, but also has the largest and fastest growing POS system, not actually a POS system, in comics. Friends and neighbors, Brian Garside.
Do you ever watch The Good Place?
Oh, yeah.
The character that the AI that always says not a robot.
Yes.
Not a girl, sorry, not a girl. That's how I feel whenever somebody says
not a
point of sale system. Not a POS. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, you're something better. You're something different. You're something
different, not
extra,
better. Different.
Right? Yeah. You're like that extra. You're like the cold cheese on top of a pizza.
I used to be a POS. Used to be a real POS. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it's been a week. So you guys had a holiday last week since last I saw you.
Yeah, we sure did. Man, I don't know. I tried to go Canadian and it got really
that was a little
Midwest.
Canadian. Yeah,
that was a little bit.
It
was Thanksgiving was good. I go basically what I do is it's like a 4-day ADHD focus on food.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's how do I feed all these people, making like 4 or 5 different dishes. This year I nailed the mashed potatoes. Nice. If you really want to get into that, I can talk about that. But 4 or 5 different dishes. And then the next 3 days are about how do I repackage, freeze, and or reuse all these ingredients that are left over so I don't have to throw them out. Yeah. So I had turkey chili today, and yes, they had beans in it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. That was just, and those were just the small little snippets of the things I personally had touched. But I've since been making a lot, and since then. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think it might be my favorite holiday. It is the food holiday.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All other holidays are about other stuff.
Yeah. I just think turkey is one of the top 10 worst proteins on the planet. But we only have to eat it once a year, so.
It's how you deal with it, my friend. True. It's how you deal with it. My turkey this year turned out really excellent. And I could talk turkey as well. But
and turkey.
Because there's like all these turkeys everywhere. We had like an 18-pound turkey that we got for free. I mean, it wasn't the great quality turkey, but still, it's a ton of protein.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, anyway. What are we doing today? Are we talking about comics? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're going to talk about actual comics and actual cash, like how comics retailers can be making more money, how they can be controlling their profit, and how all of this means better interactions with their customers. I think it's one of those things. Is it like this secret that for comic shops that a lot of comic shops don't do, and you kind of famously haven't. Like you have not been really interested in back issues, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it is I don't have the space, and part of it is that it's a different kind of thing than what I really want to cultivate in terms of a business. Like I'm looking to build a high-end bookshop that also sells like art and art supplies and that kind of stuff. And I feel like when you go that way, you're almost, and I don't want to say this derisively, but it's a little more like antique shop, right? You're kind of heading down that antiques and collectibles shop, and I get it. I get.
Yeah, I cannot wait till all of our guests file in, and they you call them antique shops.
I know.
This is going to be a great segment. So stick around for that.
Oh my gosh, we are building the next big thing in comics right now. GetComicPreviews.com. If you go there, you'll actually be redirected to Comic Previews where you can sign up and get on our waiting list for when our eventual tools get released. There's some bugs on there right now because it's in pre-release, but we've got those bugs all solved, and a bunch of new stuff is going up this week. I just gotta like coordinate time with everybody to get everything launched. But things are coming along.
Looking good.
I just saw our subscription tools in QA this week, and I was just like, these might be the best subscription tools anybody's ever done. There's
right on.
Cool concepts in here. We'll talk about those offline, you and I, at some point. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is probably the most fun I've had in this business in at least the last 5 years. It's the first time where we're like aiming for something to get ahead of it instead of catching up to a thing that's already happened. And so I'm super, super excited, pumped about what we're doing.
Excellent. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I think it might be time for us to do another deep dive interview on our long form podcast, so we can kind of run through all of it, right?
I'll tell you what, as soon as we get the customer facing tools live and we've got some people using them, then I'm gonna be super excited. And that little number behind me is the number of shops we currently have with Managed Comics, but that number is going to change the number of customers that we're serving through comic previews and Managed Comics very soon.
Blake, that make number that bigger. Like let me see that number. What is that? Make no bigger. Don't flip us. Make Blake there.
363 right now.
363. 363 stores. Awesome.
That's correct. Yeah, and it's like last time I checked, it was like 65,000, but I think it might be closer to 75 because I've realized that I did some math wrong. So yeah, it's a lot of customers, which is pretty exciting.
That's fantastic. Well, we actually are going to be talking about something about that very soon, specifically in the Prana Bullet, which is our weekly email newsletter that we send out that wraps up the entire week of comics. It gives you all the headlines that we think are going to be important to your business, your career. And we are going to be adding something new this week, which is it's re-adding something that we had previously. This is market share and sales data from the comic shops themselves. So we have relationships with Brian at Managed Comics. We have a relationship with Django, who is going to be on here in a little bit talking about back issues, but he also is part of Comic Shop Assistant. Between them, just under 500 stores, and my guess is we're probably in the neighborhood of over 100,000 consumers. Allows us to get some data that's really interesting, both on the pre-order side and on the actual sales data, which means that we're going to be able to talk about very specific market share issues. This is the first time this next slide has ever been shown in public, so this is a bit of an exclusive. And I wanted to make sure we flipped to this card here on the show before the newsletter, because for the very first time, DC leading Marvel.
Yeah,
not for the very first time, but I would say it. I cannot find, going back at least a decade or two, I can't find another time when they were leading as hard, right? I mean, not as hard. They're really basically neck and neck, but they're just a fine hair more market share there. So,
yeah, and I mean, anecdotally, it makes sense. Just looking at my own store, like our DC subs tend to be higher per title. And it's pretty on par with the number of titles that Marvel and DC are carrying right now. There just seems to be more buzz with DC right now, which means, like, I swear Marvel's got something up their sleeve at some point. There's got to be something happening.
I mean, they're bringing in some heavy hitters. They're going to figure this out. But this is the first time. Usually what happens is Marvel leads just by nature of the number of SKUs they put out.
Yeah.
Right. So the number of different covers that they put out makes all the difference. So this was big news. I didn't want to, as soon as I saw it, I didn't want to wait another day before we really revealed this. But yeah. Also, it's good to note this is what, a top 10?
Yeah.
6, 9, 10. Yes. Our friends Ignition made the top 10, number 9. Oni Press coming in at number 10, right? Boom and Dark Horse doing really well. Dynamite and IDW doing well. It's
Ex-Posse Holdings is entirely on the back of Mark Spear's Monsters.
Oh, there you go. That's it. That explains that.
And I think that was probably Monster and the Wolf, which I believe sold 300,000 copies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing. That's incredible.
So I will say, if anybody who hasn't already, somebody make sure that they tag Philip Sablik in this. I want to make sure that he knows he's on that top 10 list. That's a big deal for him. So anyway, welcome to finally having decent data, friends and neighbors. We're going to be there weekly from now on. We'll be able to start doing monthly wrap-ups. All of this is going towards the Comics the Magazine project that we're working on as well. We'll talk about that later in the show. But yeah. Big deal that we finally are able to pull this out. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And it's just going to get better. As Brian and Django, both their companies, as they both grow, we're going to be increasing the amount of data we're pulling from. Anytime the cohort gets bigger, the data gets more accurate. Right this second, we're dealing with big enough numbers that we feel confident in saying that this is probably indicative of what's going everywhere. So yeah. What else are we going to talk about today?
So we got that was the market share report, I believe. We did the opposite of burying the lead. We unburied the lead. Then we're going to hit our hard hitting headlines, which I'm always excited to see what graphic Blake has come up for our headline. It's a quiet time, so there's not a ton of headlines, which is why we're going to jump right into the giving season. There's a really cool Tuesday promotion on now that we're encouraging everyone to take a look at. And then we're going to jump into FCBD.
Yes,
the planning needs to start now.
That's right. We're finally getting some answers on that, what that's happening.
And then we go right into back issues and why I need them. I thought that said why I hate them, but I'm so glad that it says need. Because hate's a strong word. And then you're going to wrap everything up with a final cut.
Well, our buddy Keith is going to wrap that up. He is going to bring something we're calling the final cut. This is basically anytime one of our clients has a book on final order cutoff, we're going to bring you a little video wrap up of why you should be buying it, a short interview, and that you can refer back to and send to your customers and say, hey, you guys need this. So we want to make sure that we're giving you these assets here in the show. But yeah, you want to jump into some hard hitting headlines? Oh, well,
all right. That's not like I was expecting more, honestly. I'm a little, I really hyped this up and it's just kind of,
it's
okay. Well, not every one of them can be a winner, right?
Listen, Blake truly tries hard. That's the key. He's a try hard.
I'm sure we screwed him up by adding 5 stories like 3 seconds before the show. So it's fine. It's fine.
No, it's only what we always do, right? I
was busy solving some problems.
But I think secretly he enjoys the juice. You know what I mean?
Dude, he gets to be a hero for like an hour every week before it's like superhero. Put on that cape, Blake. Let's see some action. All right, what do we got, Blake? What's our first story?
Cap around it. Let's go.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, we heard from a lot of retailers that Black Friday was spectacular for them. I think you have the exact stats, but I know overall it was like per transaction and number of visitors.
Dude,
right?
There was an ITV2 report that consolidated a lot of what we were hearing. Massive increases across the board, and I wish I could find my notes for that. I'm not finding that at all. But yeah, let's see if we can't pull that. Do you have that story? Does anybody have that story? Should we prepare?
Okay, yeah, I do. I see it. Overall sales growth of 4.1%. That online sales, excluding autos, grew 10.4% across the board. Black Friday spending was up 4.1% overall, and there was a 1.17 year-over-year increase in store visits.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad overall, right? That's an increase in store visits. That means people are actually going out and not staying at home. Granted, there was an increase in online sales, but
I mean, it's important. Like, you could see growth and actually entirely attribute it to inflation, but when you see growth and store visit increases, it means that you've got actual growth, like sustainable growth, and not just stuff costs more, which by and large is not true in comic shops. The price of our goods hasn't, like, the cover prices haven't really significantly raised in the last year. So,
right.
It's really more process and more product being sold through.
Would you say that also means it's much more difficult for a store to continue to show a profit considering inflation, and therefore might want to be able to control their cost of goods, and so therefore maybe back issues would be a good solution for that.
Yeah, like smart stores should definitely look at that. Dumb stores probably don't want to because they're going to be dogmatic about the thing that they want to do. Oh, I want to make this thing that does a thing. Oh. Yeah, those guys are dummies, but
yeah,
we need dummies and dreamers.
We do.
We need our dummies
and dummies and dreamers. Boy, oh boy, I really hope that you have done a bit more research on this particular next slide, because I'm realizing I'm going into this with these stories. I knew I wanted to read about them before we came on the air, but I did not.
This is so good.
You did.
This is the story. I love it when slide.
Anyway.
When somebody throws somebody else under the bus, I love it. When it's me that gets thrown under the bus, I love it a lot less. It's just funny because you're asking me to talk about this story, and this is the one that I said, I'm not sure if we want to touch this one, but here it is. But yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So there was a boycott on, I don't even want to say this because I'm Canadian, but I do not speak Francophone.
Angoulême.
Is that what it's called? Angoulême?
I've always said Angoulême. That's how everybody I know says it.
Okay, fair enough. So there was a creator boycott and a withdrawal of publisher support and the loss of public funding after there was an incident in the 2023 event and other accusations of mismanagement. I think that the president also resigned, and so now that they have no authors, they have no publishers, and they have no money, they are not doing a festival this year. So hopefully they will resolve their issues and it will come back. But yeah, it's not looking great. I love the pronunciation guides.
I appreciate you. All of you in the chat trying to teach us how to say it. You're sweetheart.
Angoulême.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's remarkable that this kind of thing could take down the third largest show in the world, right? This is not a small, I've never been, but I've heard so many stories about it that essentially takes over this entire town. There are all of these different exhibits in storefronts and hotels and every venue that has open space that becomes part of this comics festival. The idea that you can just shut this down with something like that is blowing my mind. That's part of why I wanted to talk about it, and really should have done a bit more reading.
Yeah. I can't even find the actual accusation. So
yeah.
That's.
Oh, look at that!
Not exactly sure what happened. Skirt. Yeah.
Not I know. Great. I know what the accusation is.
Oh, let's hear it.
It's essay. The R word.
Oh.
Non-consensual.
Oh.
Relations. Yeah. I get you.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, but yeah, that would.
If ever there was a reason, that's a good one.
Yeah, if ever there was a reason, sure, but why not replace that person? We're talking about a huge business. I mean, one person's maybe, you know what? I'm realizing this is on me. I should know better. We can move on from this story.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You never know exactly what kind of mismanagement there was. But
yeah, we don't.
Let's jump into the giving season.
I'll flush from that. All right. So the giving season, yes. So once again, this is a time of year where we give to each other. And honestly, businesses are looking for how much do I really want to be giving in profit to taxes? So how much can I donate? How can I make the world a little better with some of these profits? This is the time of year where we're all looking to make the lives of those who need it a little better. And we wanted to take this moment to highlight a few of the charities that we find value in, and one of which that is really struggling because of the shift from Diamond, which was surprising to us. But Hero Initiative, one of our favorite charities, is a charity that contributes to creators who are in need, usually older creators who are, dealing with their kind of post-career. They did not invest in places that had pensions. They made comics for us instead. And so it is our way of giving back to some of those creators who need that. Also, Jim McLaughlin, who runs that, does a really wonderful job of reaching out to publishers and saying, hey, this guy is struggling. Can we get him some work? Somebody maybe hasn't been working in a while. And yeah, fantastic. Jim, who came out of Image and did a whole bunch of stuff at Top Cow and ran Wizard Magazine. Anyway, it's a really wonderful, wonderful charity. Bink, we've talked about Bink a lot on this show, and we'll continue to talk about Bink a lot on this show. They are running a match too right now. So if anything that you contribute, we'll get a double match. So you put in $100, $300 are going to Bink, right? Yep. That's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity to help people. Yeah.
That's in conjunction with Macmillan Publishing, I think, right?
Right. Exactly. And so Bink actually does support comic shop employees and bookshop employees and anybody who makes their living in our space and really needs it. They are the absolute best. So you should be contributing to them. We've talked about them before, but the one we wanted to talk about, also not on this slide, I want to always talk about the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. They are an incredible charity that helps out with basically law bills for people that are dealing with censorship issues, stores that have come under fire because of censorship. This is becoming a bigger deal right now, and they definitely can use your help. But the one we wanted to bring up, the one that we found interesting, Megan, who's on our team, is a big supporter of theirs, has worked with them several times. Comic Books for Kids, which is a charity that really does provide comics for kids in need. And one of the things that they used to get, one of the things that they were able to do is work with Diamond to get books that were maybe on storage at Diamond and were being destroyed or being, pulped or something. They would take those as donations and make sure they got distributed. So because with the loss of Diamond, they're not getting as much product, and so it's a big deal that they are not. They could definitely use your help. I know we have a link in our private chat. If you guys want to drop that into the main chat, that'd be great.
Yeah,
but yes,
ask Blake to drop that in
for our giving season. Please do go and find some way to make our world a little bit better with the little bit of extra that you might have left over this year. So, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I know at the at Comics Pro too, at the annual Comics Pro event, there's always an auction where proceeds go to Bink, and it's so great to see the amount of money that we raise. So give.
I'm a little embarrassed by the things you'll see in the background here that came from that auction. So there you go. Because it's very often who I'm bidding against, almost as much as it's what I'm bidding for.
Oh my goodness. Get dark.
All right. This is our blind item. So this is not something that has been it started off as a blind item, which basically means it's not attributed to anybody, but it is a rumor that's going around. But as we started digging in, we found out that there is quite a bit of structure already has been announced to at least the stores involved. Free Comic Book Day is a go coming from our friends at Universal.
Yeah, they've actually taken over the Free Comic Book Day page. And actually, I was reading, there's an article called Get Ready for Free Comic Book Day that came out November 1st. And in it, they actually say, new for 2026, we're inviting local hobby and board game stores to join the celebration too. While comic shops remain the heart of FCBD, this expansion means even more places to discover great stories and connect with your community. And if you know anything about Universal, you know that is definitely one of their MOs for why they wanted to get in the comic game to begin with, is they want to just get comics in more places. Angela's very, very passionate about that, and I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think they've done really what we would consider an announcement yet. So these things do go to the website I think check in if you are a Universal account, check in with them. I know that Lunar has a plan that they are looking to reveal, that they are working. My understanding is working with Universal on this one. This one goes into the rumor side of this, but they're working with Universal to try and coordinate and make sure everybody gets covered. Same for PRH. So they're doing their best to make sure that everybody is playing nice this year, and then who knows what's happening next year. But this year we're at least going to have a free comic book day. Publishers are going to be able to participate. Retailers are going to have product available, and we'll be able to keep things in the first Saturday of May, right? The way that it has been for, I don't know, 30 years, long time. When was
at least 20. I think it was like, wasn't it 2025? Yeah, 25. Yeah, this was 2026 is supposed to be the 25th year of Free Comic Book Day.
I remember because it was going to be my first 1-year anniversary of being a retailer, and it was going to be on May 1st. And I thought we were going to have a big event where we were going to give away free comics. And then suddenly there was a worldwide event called Free Comic Book Day. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not doing our anniversary anymore. So, yeah, and that was 25 years ago. Crazy. Damn.
That's wild, eh?
Wow, look at
I know,
that.
right?
Gray. Yes, it was July 4th 1 year. And then, what's interesting is that the history of this is when they were trying to decide what day to put this on. It was, my understanding was Jim Valentino was in the room and said, well, there's going to be a Spider-Man movie. Why don't we do it then? And then who knows if the big superhero movie was always on the first week of May because it was this, or it was because of the big superhero movie. But then the year that it was the 4th of July was because there was a big superhero movie release on 4th of July instead. And I mean, who knows? Who knows how this is going to play out? But it is one of those ongoing questions.
For sure. It's always made a lot of sense too. Like why wouldn't you tie the superhero movie release to the weekend that people are already getting pumped up to go to comic stores? Like that just it was great.
It makes some sense.
It also makes sense to have synergy
day on the calendar too,
Yeah.
Rather than being beholden to the, I don't know. Well, that's going to be an interesting see how that plays out now that there are different players and different stakeholders.
Yeah.
All right.
I just love the first Saturday in May concept. It's just it just sticks in your brain every year.
It really does. Brian, you hate back issues, right?
Why?
You hate. My understanding is that you don't like to make money on. You want someone else to decide how much money you're going to make. All right.
I worked in comic stores in the 80s and 90s, right? So I actually purchased collections off of people, and I remember that every time that I would open up a collection, my allergies would go crazy just from the mold and mildew. They just do. And all of the phrases that we use around comics, back issues specifically, do not appeal to me. Digging for treasure, like buried gold. Like I don't want to dig. I don't like any of those words. And I've only seen a handful of places where I really, really like the back issue setup. Django's place is one of them. The stuff I've seen about Jeremy's, I like the way that back issues, but just the concept of this massive island of just crap that's in the middle of your store that you have to dig through. Brian, I've never liked it. Now I understand the business reasons you have it, but I also think that it changes the dynamic of the store you have. And I've gone into enough stores that are so back issue focused that just walking in them is gross. It just smells bad. And
I understand that. I do. And I think that that's one of the things I want to dig into is that we do see stores now that are proudly not even carrying new comics. And I think that's a mistake as well. But I do want to bring in a couple of experts. They are real friends of the show and legitimately experts in this conversation. First to the stage, the man who we talked to earlier about what chili is and is not, and the man who is holding down some of the best comic shop experience in my hometown, Mr. Jeremy Shore of Titan Comics in Dallas, Texas. How you doing, Jeremy?
So far, so good. Can't complain too much.
It's a little off-putting to not have you in the chat, but I actually have you here. So if you could kind of do both, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I probably could. I
I was in the private chat. I'll go back into comments.
No, I'm not giving you a hard time. I appreciate you. I wanted to dig into some of the details about how you handle it, but first I want to bring in our next guest. This is so
he's been sitting here doing a bit for 5 minutes, like just so.
Wait.
Oh,
look,
I'm just
hi guys. Are we talking about back issues today?
Oh, look at me.
Mr. Django Boren.
Hang on, let me put some tape on this cover while I put it away.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for being
for your customers.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a moment. We wanted to get into this because we have seen in the past, comic shops are on a rise, right? Just generally, we're seeing that in the data that we're getting from you and Django and you, Brian. We're hearing from the stores that are doing well. We're hearing that, kind of generally speaking, comic shops are doing incredibly well this year because we have good product generally to sell, right? But one of the things that keeps happening as I talk to comic shops is that I start to see a trend of these stores that are saying, I'm not seeing that increase, right? Yes, I'm seeing some increases on single issues, but maybe I'm losing them on graphic novels. And when I look at them, one of the primary things I see is that they don't really focus in on the idea of back issues, right? The idea of this interaction with the customers that allows them to bring product in and really define what the markup is. So I wanted to start with both of you. Jeremy, let's start with you first. One, what kind of a year are you having? And two, how much of that can you attribute to back issues?
Well, according to my accountant just got done doing November, and we're 20% up over last year.
20% up over last year. How long has Titan Comics been around?
30. We're about to hit our 35th anniversary next year.
35 years this store's been around, not counting the previous incarnation, right? But
you asked Titan Comics, I went ahead and just skipped over Phoenix. Yes,
20% on a 35 year. You had a year over year. That we don't see that in other businesses. Right?
It is lunatic. Yeah.
Yeah. And how much of that can you attribute to back issues?
Well, I ran my numbers, and back issue sales are right at 25%.
25%. Wow.
Now, to put that in perspective, new comics are 36%, and collected editions are what? Hang on, that's 18%. So
so you well and above. You essentially went well above your graphic novel collected editions, right?
Well, it's yes. Though several things, and I have this conversation with people on a routine basis, and several things about where I'm at geographically set this apart enough that I can't simply say, "Oh, my store is awesome."
Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth has 15 million plus people that I can draw from on a regular basis, and there's conventions that get held here in town at least one a month and sometimes three. And I've been around long enough. Generally speaking, the people who get drawn in from miles away, pick a number of miles, it doesn't matter. If they're really seriously looking for back issues, they end up at my store at some point. They may only be here for a couple of minutes, and they may be looking for that one issue, or they may just call me and say, "Hey, do you have whatever that issue is?" But I draw those people in from those shows, not every single time, but certainly consistently enough. I certainly have enough people say to me when they walk in the door and I don't recognize them, "Oh, I'm in town from Arkansas or Oklahoma, and for the show this weekend, and I couldn't find what I wanted, so everybody said come here, and here I am."
Gotcha.
But there's also a lot to do with back issues, and I know I understand the goal to talk Brian into carrying them. I am historically speaking the guy who says that's cool and all, but it's a lot of work. I have 3 dedicated employees that's all they do. And there's me. I'm the one who prices the comic. Okay. Now, could I give that away? Sure. But I have too much fun so far. So I haven't given that one away yet. They're talking me into it. But yeah, there's a lot of time and a lot of effort. But I think that the more time and effort that you're willing to put into having a comprehensive back issue selection that's organized, priced, graded as needed. Now, graded, we can have a long conversation about grading as well.
Sure.
In my store, if it's $10 or more, I put in my Jeremy grade on the comic, so you at least know if I think it's a very fine or near mint or good or poor or whatever the grade might be. And pretty much if it's $8 or lower, I'm just going to put a price on it, and you decide if that's worth your spending the money on. But again, it's all part of a consistent system. And that's one, when I go to other stores and look at their back issue selections, the number one problem I see is there's the consistency with how they present their back issues, how they price their back issues, how they grade their back issues. It's just not there. And if you can't present a consistent picture of what you carry to the people coming in with money in their hands saying, I want to buy that giant size X-Men #1 that Django just put tape on the cover. No, you didn't. Don't worry. It's all right.
It peeled right off. It's still pretty glossy.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. But you know, people right now in particular, people want to spend money on back issues. If you don't have an inviting environment that does it, it's not just about a clean, well-lit, organized, friendly, welcoming place like a comic book store should be, whether you carry back issues or not, in my humble opinion. But that has to extend to your back issues. If you've just got stuff in boxes that's just horribly organized and stacked on top of each other, and people give up in a hurry on that stuff. Nobody wants to crawl around on the floor and bang their head on tables
or ask how much it costs.
Back issues.
Or ask how much it costs. That's we've seen that a lot. But I've also seen, retailers in our comments say, well, I'm a small store and I just don't have the time. Otherwise, I have to price it at the register. And it is a conundrum. Django, what kind of year are you having, and how much of that can you attribute to back issues? Because I know you spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, so I just scrambled and brought up year over year, and it looks like I'm in almost exactly the same boat as Jeremy. We're 19.5% up on the year.
Dang.
And our top 5 categories are remarkably consistent. It's like books, comics, games, back issues, and then non-comic novelties, which is probably stickers. Like, we make a killing on stickers. But like all of those are the same percentage, essentially, within like 0.5% both years. And back issues for us are about 9.5 to 10% of sales.
Now, would you say that they are the profitability wise for both of you? I don't know if you're able to dig that deep into your accounting, but profitability wise, what is your markup on the back issue as a category?
I think the only way to really calculate that is by gut, because there are a billion X factors, right? Did I pay this person cash or did I pay them credit? If I paid them cash, how many of them are still sitting around? How many do I think I'm going to sell in the next 50 years? Am I going to be buried with 2 full runs of Alpha Flight, missing the Jim Lee cover and #1? Probably. At least 2.
All-Star Squadron, don't forget.
Yep, All-Star Squadron. It's a good one. And then, there's just the storage. We have about 30. What I just did this. You know, Brian's little flippy thing he's got behind him. I copied him and I got one for our store. And it shows how many back issues we have in our inventory. So we've got about 30.
So Brian, that's 363 back issues. Is that what that's saying?
and it should say under it, still too many.
So we've got about 35,000 back issues in inventory, but we've got about 135,000 back issues total, right? So we have a ton left to catalog and to get in there. And kind of in the same boat as Jeremy, there's one person who prices most of the comics. It's me.
Yeah.
And you know, we have some staff that does some pricing, but I definitely do the bulk of it, especially anything over about $15 lands on my plate. So what is the profit on it? I don't know, man. How much do back issues feed trade paperback sales also? Right.
Yeah.
So like,
sure.
If you look at how much did this comic cost me that I just sold you, huge profit, right? For us, it's 80-90% profit, minus warehousing, minus stuff we couldn't sell, minus the time it takes, minus the bags and boards, the barcodes, the price stickers. So dollar amount,
insurance, rent, you know, minor. Yeah.
So high profit with some caveats, I guess. You better really like it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Django's evaluation. It's extremely difficult to quantify exactly how much profit there is in back issues, but what I can safely say is it's way more profit than there is in almost any other piece, since I'm sorry, I don't pay half of what I'm going to sell a back issue for, unless it's something like a giant size X-Men #1 that I know won't be here very long. Well, guess what? I'll pay a whole lot more than I would for a Spawn 16 or something like that.
It takes you just as long to price it too.
Yep.
Right. I've heard from plenty, especially during the period when prices were skyrocketing. I heard from plenty of retailers who were buying those keys at market value, right? Because they knew they weren't going to see them again, and they knew that they can turn it and they're still going to make a profit.
Yeah.
So.
You better not pay market for it right now. That's all.
Yeah, not right now. All right, we want to introduce somebody real quick, but before I do, I got this text message because I didn't think we were gonna get him on the stage, but I did get just to lay the groundwork. I got this from our next guest, who, as we were talking, knew we were gonna bring him in on back issues. We knew we got this from him, saying that this insane collection walked in, so that's why he's late. But welcome to the chat. Mr. Aaron Holland of now Ultimate Comics in Florida. Where exactly in Florida are you?
It's Oviedo. It's Central Florida, like a suburb of Orlando. It's real close to Disney, though.
Gotcha. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Doing great. Sounds like that's totally made up, but like seriously, like right before too, a dude rocks up and he's like, "Hey, you buying comics?" And he just brought out this amazing stuff. Just like, usually you think it's going to be like, Age of Apocalypse or Death Superman, and it's just like, what? First Galactus, first Wolverine, first Punisher? You have to have your game face on. Like, okay, what else do you got?
These are fine, I guess.
Right.
Well, you're coming in late, so I do want to ask you the question I'm asking everybody else to start, and then I've got one more question for the panel, and then we should cut, because I know Keith and Blake worked real hard on this FOC video. Aaron, what kind of year are you having? I mean, this is kind of your first year in the new shop, right? I don't know. I hope we didn't lose you. What kind of year are you having, and how much of that is back issues?
Sorry, the sound cut out for some reason.
That's all right. Can you hear me? That's all right. We'll move on. Well, hopefully we'll get that answer from him in a little bit. While we're waiting on Aaron to figure out.
Sorry, the sound cut out. I don't know why.
That's all right.
Weird.
One more time then. What kind of year are you having, and how much of that is attributable to back issues?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I guess I'm good to ask about that because, I was only doing online for a while, and then I opened an actual retail spot again with Ultimate, and did that, around May. And oh my Lord, like it's in a mall. Mall customers and back issues are crazy. Like, they don't care that it's not new. They don't care that it's not a key. If it's a cool cover character they like, whatever, I actually closed my warehouse completely end of October because the lease was coming up, and I did a pop-up across from me in the mall. There was an open spot that was huge. It was like a Champ Sports that left, and I brought my entire warehouse there. I did a Vault giant sale of back issues, promoted it pretty heavily, and I just blew away. Like, my partner Alan gave me a total that he thought would be successful because we were, spending a lot on promotion, and we're going to do away with the warehouse. And I literally doubled that the low end of his. I want you to make between this and this. So back issues have done extremely well, and I think part of it is my location, but part of it is that there's so much negativity from customers, that are lapsed customers, about new stuff and the prices of new stuff, and the direction of new stuff, that back issues is such an easy sell. There's not like, the no isn't there. They're just like, oh, cool, I remember this, this is cool. And I think we're selling over, I would say about 30%, if I factored in that sale, higher than that, but probably about 30% of our sales are back issues. And it's good because I had so many of them.
Three things I take away from that. One, you're selling nostalgia, which is huge right now. When you look at our top 10 list of all the books that are selling, they're all nostalgia based. Two, you're talking about, obviously you control your markup in that you control how much you're spending. But three, you're controlling also the pricing, right? You can, if people are saying the cover prices are too much, all these have to do is come in under that, because you know how much you're spending. I think that's a fascinating piece that you just did. All right, so again, I don't want to spend too much more time because we do have some other stuff, but I'd love to hear from all of you, because you all also carry new comics, right? And one of the things that we see, especially from people that have, there are a lot of people on YouTube and other places that are that are comics retailers, but they're only focusing in on secondary market, right? They don't carry any new comics. If back issues are so good, and frankly, who knows why Brian hates them. If back issues are so good, why bother with new comics and subscriptions and all of the specialized software that you need? Why bother with that?
It's an ecosystem. You need it all. It all feeds each other, and somebody doesn't just like back issues. Somebody can like back issues and Absolute Batman, and they might want trade paperbacks for themselves or for a family member.
Right.
You need it all. I mean, I think a lot of the reason that so many comic stores are seeing success this year isn't necessarily just the comics. We've all had to diversify in the last few years, and that diversification lets you sell more of that when this starts to flounder.
And it also means that everybody who discovered you because you had this thing knows where to go when Absolute Batman drops, right?
Yep.
They're already comfortable and they're already familiar. While Aaron answers that phone, Jeremy, why bother with single issues?
Why bother? Ooh, well, because that it brings the people in over and over and over. The regulars show up, they buy their comics, and many times they will pick up that novelty item, pick up that trade paperback, go say, I've been wanting to get that run of whatever, and that I'm missing issue 17 of that run. Let me go see if he's got it. Oh, look, it's there. That kind of thing. And it's we get back to that third space conversation, that you can be that place that you can go and exercise all of those muscles that when you're around the people you work with, if you start geeking out about Gambit, they like look at you and like start calling 911 and stuff. and where here we can actually carry on a conversation about that sort of thing and give you some. And if you've really got somebody like Gambit or who is less exposed than Gambit. We can go, hey, if you really like that, you might try this, particularly if it's a writer or artist combination. Ed Brubaker comes to mind. There's lots of stuff that you can recommend that's very Brubaker-ish, that aren't always obvious and accessible to people who aren't involved in the conversation.
Awesome. I don't know if we're going to get him. Aaron, are you with us? Aaron? Okay.
I think the main thing though is like, don't sell back issues unless you're into it. I know we all wanted to convince Brian to sell back issues, but I feel like I've already planted enough seeds of sabotage in his life by encouraging him to sell new comics. We don't need to add back issues to that.
Yeah, Brian, have we convinced you? We have not, probably, and that's probably a good thing, right?
That's okay. Yeah.
Carrying back issues is an investment in both time and effort and money. It is non-trivial, and you have to decide what fixtures you want. You have to decide where they're going to go. You have to decide what organization you want to put on it. There's just so many extra little bits on that unless you have a plan in advance. I didn't really have a plan in advance. I kind of grew into it, but that's one of the things about having done it for decades is, you know what? I made so many mistakes in the middle of doing that, but I kind of like where I'm at now, and we're continuing onward. And Brian, if you do decide to start doing back issues, I would strongly recommend you talk to people who whether it's Django or me or anybody else, talk to somebody who's got some practice in the back issue market, so you aren't sideswiped by things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like an entire, I was never super great at grading. And I feel like that's one of those things you got to be good at, or you got to bring in somebody that's good at, if you're going to really jump into that.
Get Conan to help you.
Market.
He can set the bar for you.
Just fly down to Conan every time I have a comic to grade. It'll be easy. Simple.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, Django, Jeremy, thanks for joining us. And Aaron, I appreciate your struggle, man. It was obvious. You just kept at it, buddy.
Yeah.
If we have not convinced everybody, we hopefully, Brian will be able to make you figure out how you can keep just selling new comics and survive. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. Looking forward to another huge year for y'all next year, and next time we'll have you back. Awesome.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Excellent. Now let's let's get into that's the final cut. Let's bring to our stage Mr. Keith Davidsen. Keith, welcome aboard, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be
Who
here.
do we have up for our final order cutoff this week?
We have Dirk Manning from Source Point Press. He's talking about his project London After Midnight, which is the original graphic novel. It's available now from Lunar and Universal, which is fantastic. So it's got a great expansive reach in the direct markets.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was a really, really insightful interview that I had with him. So let's let it roll.
Let's roll it.
Dirk, thank you for joining us today. We're here to talk about London After Midnight, the new original graphic novel from Source Point Press. Yeah, there it is.
This book right here.
Let's start at the beginning, because while London After Midnight is a new graphic novel, it's a story that goes back a century.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us the history of London After Midnight and the mystique that surrounds it?
Yeah, man. London After Midnight, I think if you look at any list, people are going to identify this as what is easily one of the most sought after and famous and, dare I say, infamous lost media of all time, right? This is the lost Lon Chaney classic, London After Midnight, the first ever American portrayal of a vampire in cinema. And again, I'm going to hold up the cover again. Even if you don't know the name London After Midnight, you know this image of Lon Chaney as the Man in the Beaver Hat. It was destroyed in a fire many years ago. For all intents and purposes, no one alive has seen this film, and Chaney Entertainment got a hold of me to bring back the story as a graphic novel adaptation so that people can finally see what a cool story this is in graphic novel form.
So now you set the stage for the historical importance. Let's meet the players. What's the premise of London After Midnight, and how does Lon Chaney's famous The Man in the Beaver Hat fit in the mix?
I don't want to give it away. No, I'm just kidding. No, basically the setup of the story, it's interesting. And Ron Chaney, who, again, I want to give huge credit to, he's the one that really kind of drove this whole project. I just adapted the screenplay he provided. He talks in the beginning in his foreword about how this is kind of a love story. It's kind of a murder mystery. It's kind of a horror. It's a little bit of everything. But the basic premise is it's about a daughter and a son whose father commits suicide, allegedly, dun dun dun, and their estate then falls to the family best friend, who then inherits the house and inherits the estate and everything like that. And without giving too much away, some things start to unfold. The detective gets involved. He feels that maybe there's something unscrupulous going on. And then things escalate when a vampire and his bride move into the old house.
London After Midnight is a very complex work. It blends detective fiction, occultism, gothic romance, and vampire lore. What are your thoughts on the appeal of this very strange brew?
Myself, like so many other horror lovers and even classic film lovers, have seen, and again, I'll hold up one more time, this iconic image of the man in the beaver hat, right, for years. I mean, I grew up seeing this image. Some might identify how the Dirk Manning avatar is maybe inspired by this a little bit, right? The top hat and all that stuff, the petticoat. It was so interesting to then get into the actual script and the story and see not only how all these different aspects come into play, but you'll also, and I'm just going to be fully transparent with everyone, you oftentimes hear, oh, the movie wasn't that good. You know, and you hear people say, oh, well, you know, we're not missing much anyway. And the ending gets really convoluted. But I came to realize by reading the screenplay and really saying, okay, why do they make these decisions they made? Oh my gosh, we forget that when this movie came in the 1920s, that's silent film era. And people were not as well versed in the storytelling mechanics of cinema as we are today. And I think we take that for granted. So one of the things that Ron and I did when we were looking at the screenplay is, how do we make sure we still honor the plot exactly as it was, but then lean into not only the fact that now people are so familiar with a lot of the visual storytelling tropes that exist, but then adapt that to a graphic novel. So as a result, you do have this love story, you do have this occultism, you do have the vampire, you do have the murder mystery, you do have the detective story. But then also to use, if I may, take that one step farther or level it up once more, the power of the comic book medium to how do we tell the definitive version of the story, and why I'm not going to be as egocentric as to say, oh, I get what Todd Browning was doing, you know, the original director of the film, but I do think I understood what they were getting at, and then to maintain the integrity of that ending, but also display it in a way that's very fluid and very organic.
Let's talk about the moody, atmospheric illustrations in the book. Tell us about what you love about the work of artist Joshua Ross.
Yeah, Joshua Ross is actually one of my longest collaborators in the comic book game. You know, he's a guy that I've worked with, I think, on more different projects easily than any other artist I've worked with to date. And when he agreed to jump into London After Midnight, I knew that he would capture that old school, almost film noir essence of the story that we really developed, going all the way back to like one of my own creator-owned properties, Tales of Mystery, back in the day. But something like this lives and dies as much on the art as on the colorist. And Colin Johnson, who colored this story, captured the grayscale mood of the book, and Joshua Ross's line work fantastically. So really, the combination of Joshua Ross's amazing line art, but then also Colin Johnson's amazing grayscale tones, just so that when you look through the book and you can see, it looks like an old black and white movie. And even the grays and things like that he uses in it, it just really, really powerful stuff. So between the two of them, like you said, I love the word that you used, moody. You capture the mood of you're living in this old black and white film on the comic book page, thanks to the talent they both have.
SourcePoint Press is making some huge moves in the direct market in 2026, releasing 2 to 3 graphic novels per month. What does it mean to you that London After Midnight is the first title to lead that charge?
You know, one of the reasons that I wanted to lead with this is because SourcePoint Press, I think historically, has always been known very much as a publisher of horror and pulp. And you don't get more horror and pulp than a vampire detective story in London After Midnight. And to be honest with you, I was almost torn, like, do we lead with London After Midnight? But ultimately, London After Midnight is a Cheney Entertainment creator-owned work. I think this was a perfect representation, a perfect encapsulation of what to expect from us. High-quality work from a very high-quality, talented creator in Ron, and then combined with a really great artwork from Joshua Ross and Colin Johnson. I mean, to me, this was like a no-brainer.
Do you have any words that you'd like to express to retailers who support London After Midnight and the new graphic novels coming out from SourcePoint Press in 2026?
I know SourcePoint Press, for the most part, went away for a while in the direct market. We also recognize that there's a lot of retailers that have really shown a lot of love to SourcePoint Press, and have expressed a lot of excitement about us coming back. We are coming back in full force. We are coming back full steam ahead. We are coming back with a very deep slate of books. And one of the ways that as publisher, I wanted to help pay this forward to 2 of our retailer friends was with a very easy pickup, a very identified book. If you file your graphic novels facing forward, your horror people will know this image. Right, and then we combine that with our partners at Lunar, and our partners here at Prana, who helped us provide a free preview PDF at the Lunar website and things like that, where you can see the quality of this book. So really, to our retailer partners, first and foremost, on behalf of myself as well as our Chief Creative Officer, Josh Werner, we appreciate your enthusiasm and your faith in us that we are coming back. We hope you recognize that we are actively trying to pay it forward with you by bringing you high quality content, and again, bringing you something instantly recognizable. I'm very proud of the fact that through SourcePoint Press, we're also going to bring you a lot of new voices, a lot of new books, and that's our pay it forward to you. That we're trying to give you the easy pickup to get it started, and then really rebuild a level of familiarity with the quality of work that SourcePoint Press is going to be presenting moving forward.
Thank you so much, Dirk. We really appreciate you interviewing with us today.
Oh, no, thank you, and thank all of you watching, and I really look forward to hearing all your thoughts on London After Midnight. We're, myself, Ron Cheney, Joshua Ross, all of us, we're just exceptionally excited about this book, so thank you for having us on to talk about it.
Fantastic, Keith. Thanks for doing that, buddy. That is incredible. So this is on FOC this week.
Yes,
Anything
this coming
else?
Monday.
This coming Monday. What else? Anything else that retailers should be looking for on their FOC and fans should be pre-ordering?
Yes, we have the feature is number 9 from our friends at Record Publishing, Record Comics. We are offering cover A by Marco Ferreri, who is the very popular artist on a number of Skybound's G.I. Joe covers right now. And we have cover B by our interior artist, Mario D'Alessandro. And we're also offering, as we did with the previous issue, number 8, we're offering a 10-copy bundle where the cost to retailers is only $10 for 10 copies, $1 per book, to sell or to give out for free. We do have issue number 8 hitting stores on December 17th alongside the trade paperback. These are going to be well stocked at Lunar. So it's a good opportunity to get new readers on board. We'll have plenty of copies if you buy into the bundles, and move some of those trade paperbacks at a nice $9.99 price point. It's great.
I can tell you as somebody who sees the sales numbers, and I know that they're very open about them, and someday we'll probably be talking about them here. This number 8, where we added in the bundle and added in the B cover, was our biggest month so far, including issue 1. We had more stores and more copies sold than ever before. So if you're in publishing and you're trying to decide what retailers like right now, bundles beat returnability. I think that's I mean, Keith, you would agree with that, yeah?
100%. 100%. The the number of retailers who came in, who gave those bundles a lot of love was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. We'll
Cool.
see you next time we have an FOC or next time you're teaching something.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Also, this week we at Prana we have another program we're doing with our friends at Desperado Publishing. We're about to start another a crowdfund for Negative Burn, bringing that back. I know we have some really cool retailer tiers. We're going to be working on that. But this has been a huge project. It was a massively influential title back in its day, and we're happy to be bringing that back with our buddy Joe Pruitt. We're running a little over. What should we be doing on the webinars?
Well,
tell us about this stuff.
What you're talking about right now kind of reminds me that we have the functionality in Managed Comics where we could actually add a PDF preview to your product page on Managed Comics. So if you're a publisher and you want to see those PDF previews where customers can actually see them, so obviously don't give us the entire issue, but if you got 6 or 8 pages, we can spotlight those on the actual product page, and we can definitely talk about that. So hit up help@managedcomics.com or QR code this QR. Also, Managed Comics is doing webinars. So this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be doing a webinar for anybody who wants to come and learn about Managed Comics.
Excellent. One last thing before we go. We are working on, this is a project we've talked a lot about on the show. We are working on a magazine that will be in shops in March. Consider this your not last call, but we're getting real close to last call. If you are an advertiser and you want to be in front of 25,000 plus consumers every month in comic shops where they buy comics, this is really a good place for you to be stepping in and getting your message out. We're working hard to build something that works for the entire industry and also gives us all a place that we can get in front of consumers and do the work of promoting the books that we all work so hard on. So thank you for giving us yet another opportunity to talk about that because it's coming up. It's something we're incredibly proud of. And man, it is coming up fast.
I can't wait. Wait. I'm so excited about it.
Boy, if we get the cover approved that we want to use, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot.
When does solicitations would be like?
Well, we're submitting next week, actually. So we're submitting metadata next week, and then I'm not sure when covers and such go, but soon. Yeah, it's happening really quick.
Probably for the January solicitations because that's for March product.
Yeah, January for March. Yeah,
wow, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Do you want to flip that metadata to me before you know?
Oh, I got you.
Go live. I'll Django now. Give it a once over and.
All right, we'll get that. I think Keith will probably put you on that, right? Oh no, Megan, you're listening. Let's make sure we get these guys the meta. Get them the details, the deets. All right, we went a little bit over, but good show.
Really good show. This was fun. Yeah, I'm not convinced, but you know what? I like that people want to convince me.
We just want you to be successful, buddy. Much of the same way we want everybody working in this.
But anytime that I can volunteer Django for anything just 100%. Means that I slow him down just a little bit. It's like hobbling a horse, right? You tie their legs together so that they can't get too far away. That's what
you two are like in this weird sack race where you're pushing each other back occasionally.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening in while you go about your Tuesday tasks. Shops everywhere. Many of you were reaching out even during the show to give us information about back issues. We'd love to have you on. So make sure that you check back in with us and let us know. And if you're buying comics, thank you. If you're selling them, if you have a shop, if you're working at a shop, you're working a counter and you sweep that floor every day, thank you. If you're making them, my God, thank you. And if you're publishing them, seriously, you're doing the Lord's work. If you're a distributor, I think we all learned how important you are. So Brian and I would like to officially thank every single one of you for saving comics this week because, man, does it need it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Get out there. Save comics, every one of you.